Hey Monkey community, hope everyone had a great Sunday. Checking in on the Monkey coin. Things looking good here at 217,000 market cap. The floor is holding. We're down about 6% from yesterday. This is with the overall market down. Bitcoin dumped, came back a little bit, but overall a solid performance from Monkey today or last 24 hours. Nothing major to report here. The accumulation zone continues, and I hope everyone's taking advantage of that. I thought I'd talk about why monkeys still around when the copycats have come and gone. There's only one monkey, and that's one of the reasons I believe we'll make a parabolic run. It's organic, it's unique. There's only one monkey, and I think folks understand that when these copycats pop up, there's a little bit of momentum, and then the floor falls out inevitably. So I want to talk about that a little bit. Why is that? Well, let's look at the this most recent one, or the most recent one I saw, this smonke, small monkey John Deere. It's a it's a little monkey wearing John Deere overalls, and the folks that were pushing it, some KOLs that will remain nameless, a few of them were talking about how it's cute and everyone's happy when they look at the meme. And that's sort of the same angle that our monkey takes, right? Everyone loves the monkey. People love monkeys. But you can see this one topped very quickly at looks like around 670,000 or so, and now it's completely dead. And this is 5 days. So this has happened quite a few times over the last 7 months that the real monkey has been alive. And it got me thinking, why is that? And obviously it goes back to the community. The community is different. These coins don't have a community. It's too short. They're not launching it because they believe in it. They're launching it to capitalize on some trend, make a few bucks, and then just let it die out. And I'm not saying that's their only goal. Maybe they're just throwing things out and seeing if they'll stick, but there's no community that's formed. The community typically forms after, unless you're launching the coin with a bunch of community members. But in these cases, it gets launched, KOLs decide to push it, folks buy in, hoping to make a quick buck, and then it dies out and someone's left holding the bag. And that's typically how it works. But again, we actually believe in the vision and love the coin. The new pairs lack holders with conviction. And I think that's a key thing. Also, the OG monkey, the real one, the meme is just incredibly simple. It's a monkey in a blue hoodie, nothing to explain or sell. It sells itself. Small monkey John Deere, I guess you could say maybe it's the same thing, but it's involving John Deere and that's sort of the angle. And so it's not as simple or as cute as the original monkey. Also, we've talked about this before. These coins, you can even see them here. These sniper cells that happen at the beginning, and then you've got to worry about bundles. Whereas monkey supply is organically in the hands of the community. There's no sketchy bundles, and clean holder base like monkey has is nearly impossible to find with new pairs, as we all know. Yes, you could catch the next penguin or white whale or whatever, but 9 times out of 10 or more, you're getting rugged. And so I think that's part of the difference is monkey's got that clean holder base right now. That's why it's perfect setup. It's at the price of a new pair, but with the clean holder base, with the established community, with the incredible mind share, all that stuff. The one thing that new pairs have that monkey is lacking is that momentum, that spark. People pile into these volumes high in the beginning because folks are jumping in hoping to catch the next runner. And there's, as we've talked about before, that dopamine hit that people get from trading the new pairs. And Monkey lacks that right now, right? It's sort of a boring time for Monkey. And as we've talked about, this is the time to accumulate during this boring phase because we're going to get back here to high volume and green candles quicker than you think. And because of the holder base and those of us holding for the long term, and we'll look at the holder and top 40 holders and do a little bit of analysis in a minute here, but essentially because we have we're not going to see sniper cells. We're not going to see those cells coming in. So we're going to have really, I believe, sustained green candles when the volume starts coming in, just because the top 40 holders are holding. And, we don't know, again, exactly what every person's going to do because it's a community coin. It's your money. You can do whatever you want with it. But we do know that so far, the top 40 holders have been incredibly consistent in adding more and not selling. All right, let's look now at the top 40 holders. The accumulation zone has been great and a great time to accumulate. And we see the top 40 holders behaving that way as well with the same mindset. And it's a good time also to get your mindset right on how to handle monke, right? You're sort of having to retrain your mind and go back to the runners like Peanut and Whiff and others like that, where you're not just holding for 10 million. 10 million would be great, right? That's a huge increase from here. Even 50 million would be great, right? But we have a chance to run this thing way up, and I'm excited about the possibility of that because of the strong holder base. So let's look at this, and just a quick reminder, what I'm doing here, if you haven't seen this, is this is a very simple analysis. I'm comparing it to the 2nd of January when I started doing this, so pretty close to the first of the year. So we're almost a month in, maybe between 3 and 4 weeks in. And so this is just comparing the top 40 holders or the holders that have 0.5% or more to what they looked like on January 2nd. So it's not super complex. It obviously could be better, but this is a real simple look at it just to get an idea of how we're holding up. So this is today pulled from SoulScan. And you can see, don't forget this one here is, it's new, but they just transferred wallets essentially. And so we're going to leave that one out. So I'm going to subtract it out. But if you look at all of these, this is new and existing. You can see the sum is 56 million, and we take this one out, we're roughly at 40 million or so. So that's 40 million monke coins added to the top holders. So that's a net inflow, I guess, if you could call it that, right? Net purchases. And so that's huge. So the top holders are not selling, they're holding for the long term, it appears. And the chart's not been going crazy or anything like that. It's been solid because I think these folks are holding and adding more. Now, don't forget, this doesn't take into account people that just full clip their entire wallet. And so I checked that, and if you recall, last time there was 3 of them, and there's still 3 here. So in the last week or so, even with the penguin suck, nobody's dumped their bags and sold it for penguin, at least not the top holders, which is great, right? At least there's not a net outflow or anything big happening, which is great. A lot of coins suffered because of how hard penguin was running, and folks looking to cash in on that. And I hope nobody got wrecked. It seems like some may have, and I don't hate penguin. Hopefully it does well, but rotating out is dangerous, obviously. And I'm glad the top wallets didn't seem to take the bait and held their monke. So things looking good here. All right, let's look at the news on X. Azara says here, whales are accumulating while you're out here selling. Don't get manipulated. The super cycle is almost here. Especially with monke, I don't see why anyone would sell right now at the bottom here when we've got tons of stuff going for us. Alon's back. The floor is holding up nicely. Like what I just talked about, the top holders. It's a great coin to get into, way better than any new pairs, in my opinion. And don't sell because real ones are out here accumulating. Stecky says true gems will survive market dumps. We've seen this time and time again. Load up on your conviction plays. The reversal will be glorious. Again, I know it's kind of a meme and a joke that people say, Bitcoin's dumping. Let me dump my monke, right? But for some reason, people do that not smart play, in my opinion. And so just hold on to your monke. I honestly don't care about short-term Bitcoin price or anything like that. I know where we're going in the next 3 years. It'd be shocking if we're not so much higher by the time Trump's out of office. And because of that, I don't worry about it day to day. I'm just stacking monkey, and we'll look at, some posts on that in just a bit here. Jakey says you don't need to look at the charts if you plan on holding until you're rich. That's a good way to do it, honestly. If you're if you have no reason to, some folks just don't even look at the chart. You may have heard of folks saying, the guy who buys and then completely forgets about it ends up holding and making more money than the folks the people that are constantly looking at the chart, right? And so, I mean, there's something to that where if you just buy it and you're convicted and you hold it and just kind of forget about it and you're not thinking about trading it, that's a good method to have. Okay, Art here says a trick to making good trades is to buy after KOLs have sold. You decrease risk of getting nuked on when you buy after they're all out. Fewer understand this. This is an interesting strategy. So if you like a coin, you see all the KOLs piling in, wait until they're out and then buy it. That's actually a good idea to do it. You get real community members in. So interesting post here by Art, and Monkey's in that spot right now, right? We don't have many of the big KOLs in. We had some in before, they've sold. Now is a good time to buy because you get in before the KOLs, right? You're the whale now. Comet says bull markets reward patience, bear markets reward discipline. Consistency wins both. And I think this can be applied to single coins like Monkey. So this is where the discipline kicks in. Buy and add to your portfolio. Don't sell. And this would be considered kind of the bear market or sideways trading. Then once we get back to looking like this, that's where patience comes in, right? Let the chart run, in my opinion. Take profits responsibly and hold on to your bag as we get higher and higher. And the longer we hold collectively, the higher we can go. Now you have to worry about others selling, right? And all that. So I'm not telling you what to do with your bag. It's up to each of us when we want to take profits. But I'm just saying, we can have a sustained run here if the top holders don't full clip their bags and that type of thing. We'll talk about that more obviously, but it's good to have a plan in place because the run could happen very, very quickly. Art Link says, wait a minute, this is the dip you prayed for. God is giving you a chance. Again, I've said it before. Monkey at around 200,000 is crazy. I remember buying a bunch here at 2 million, 4 million, thinking, oh, I wish I had more when we were spiking up to 18 million and at 8 million. We're going to get there again, and you're going to wish you'd bought more at 200,000, in my opinion. Cryptoshi says, my diamond hands are really being tested right now. I think he's got some other coins, but he's a holder, which is great. I love that. But diamond hands are being tested right now as we hold. When the bags go sideways or down, it's hard. But if you have that conviction, if you have that belief, you're going to get tested, but you can hang in there and wait for better days. Shadow says rotations are a part of this game, whether you like it or not. Just gives you time to accumulate more of the coins you love for much cheaper. Take this as a gift. That's how I'm viewing the monkey rotations, any rotations out. We didn't see too many from the top holders, but rotations out to penguin or whatever is the daily runner. That's just part of it. You're going to see folks do that. And like he said, it gives us more time to accumulate, which I'm doing. And I know a lot of us are doing. So thanks, everybody. I will talk to you tomorrow.